Hi friends, Mickey Mankis here and welcome to Out the Back Door. I had recently taken a poll and I asked you, I'm going to be canning carrots. What did you want to see me do? Did you want to see me do the purple cosmos or did you want to see me do the black nebula? Well, the black nebula won. Let's get started. Okay, as you can see, I've got a large box of the black nebulas that I've got to take care of. And I also have a cooler over here, and I've got the purple cosmos. I've also got some of the orange, I believe they're Nantes, and then I've got some yellow and white carrots in there also. So they all do need to get canned up, but these are the ones that I'm going to concentrate on today because I've got so many, and I actually took my All-American 941 out, and I don't even know that I'm going to get all of these canned in one load. So let's get to our next step. I had shared with you a while back, it was late fall, and I did a really quick video on an update of the garden, and I was pulling all my root vegetables, and that included all these carrots and everything. Well, at that time, it was getting late at night. I had them out on the screens in the front yard and everything, and I was trying to rinse off the big dirt, but I still need to wash them. That's why I've got these little tubs here, because there's still a fair amount of dirt on them that I need to get washed off. I don't want it going down my sink drain, so I'm going to put it in this, wash them up, and then pitch this outside. So anyway, that's going to be the first step that I'm taking to all these. I've had them stored out in the garage. Now, during the fall and when the snow is getting ready to come in and everything, that was a good place for it because the temperature was regulated where it wasn't at freezing yet. So the garage was kind of like my extra refrigerator. Well, it has turned into my extra freezer because the temps have not come up above freezing yet. Now, today they are warming up a little bit, but I also have meat out there and it's frozen and I don't want to thaw that out. So, you know, we got to make do with what we've got. Anyway, so let's start working on the carrots here. I did have to bring them into the kitchen to thaw out a bit because they were frozen, but they're still good. So let me get them washed up and we'll go to the next step. All right, I've got the black nebulas all washed up. And I forgot to put gloves on to begin with when I was even washing them. My nails, cuticles, fingers, everything are stained. Almost like an indigo blue. So before I start peeling these and cutting them, I'm going to put my gloves on. Now, as you can see, these aren't the prettiest looking carrots. They're not going to win any awards, anything like that. I don't know if it's because I let them grow too long and they got that big. It's just, I get my seeds from rareseeds.com, and no, they're not sponsoring this video. I just cut into two of the larger ones here, and this is what I was talking about, the centers being a little bit different. Actually, this is the first time I've seen yellow in one. It's always been like more of a white color, star flower type pattern, that thing. And I did mention that, you know, this stains really well. My cutting board is turning purple and everything, but one thing I would recommend is if you decide to plant these and use them, you're going to want them as a side dish. I went and I roasted chicken and I threw these in with some potatoes and onion, and everywhere that the black nebula carrot had touched, whether it was the chicken or the potatoes or whatever, everything had big dark purple stains on it. So it didn't look nice, but it tasted okay. That's another thing about the flavor of this isn't super strong. It isn't like biting into a regular orange carrot, that type of thing. These are heirlooms, so different varieties have different flavors or intensity of flavors. So that's just another thing about these. Okay, I've got all of the black nebulas chopped up. And they're in random chunk sizes, slices, whatever. I'm not too concerned about this. Like I said, these aren't the prettiest. Even during the summer while I was picking a few carrots here and there for meals, I never did find one that was a perfect shape or something like a standard carrot. But I want to show you something. I know we said we were working on the black nebulas today, but I do want to show you these purple cosmos. Here's a standard carrot, And here's one of the purple cosmos. Is this crazy or what? All right, I've got the purple cosmos, one on each end. I also have a yellow carrot in here that is humongous compared to the standard orange Nante. And if you can see the length of this one carrot, okay, I guess it's not really outrageous, but they're approximately a foot long. They're 12 inches long. But they're also like 4 inches across at the top. I mean, it's just, these things are huge. So I wanted to share that with you. I'm going to be canning up the purple cosmos and actually the yellow ones and some of the orange Nantes that I have. I've also got some white carrots in there too that I'm going to be doing. I need to get these all canned up. I will be dehydrating a few of them, so maybe I'll show you that process also. But I just wanted to share with you how big these are. Even though the pole won on the black nebulas, I decided I am going to be using a different liquid in the black nebulas versus when I'm doing the purple cosmos. So that's why I decided I was going to show you this also. We are concentrating on the purples, don't worry. And you're going to see this beautiful dark inky liquid once we get done. So anyway, I just wanted to show you the extreme size of these carrots that I was picking. And yeah, you're asking, are they woody? No. That is the coolest thing about these. They are not woody. That was one of my concerns during the summertime when I was yanking these giant things up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at how big they are. Because rareseeds.com, their catalog they send you, I would say the majority of their seeds are heirloom. So anyway, I'm looking through their pictures in the catalog and stuff, and I mean, some of these vegetables they're growing are like astronomical in size compared to a normal one. And I'm thinking, yeah, right, that's a fluke, that's one. No, as you can kind of see, let me see if I can get my bowl over here. I have plenty of very large carrots, but while I was picking them this summer and cooking them up, they were good. They really were. It didn't matter that they were enormous, they were good. So anyway, like I said, I'm not getting paid to plug rareseeds.com. I just really highly regard their seeds. I've been happy with them for years, and that's why I keep buying them. So anyway, okay, I am going to start cutting these up the same way that I had done the black nebulas. You know, get them all peeled and everything. I did wash them already. But anyway, all right, let me get to it. Okay, this is the one that I had measured 4 inches across on the top. Look at that beautiful color in there. I did say that they were orange inside. Okay, the larger ones do have like yellow center and stuff too. So these are kind of cool. But I'm going to end up peeling them. So I'm going to remove any of this burgundy, purpley color on the outside here. That's going to go. I do peel all my carrots and everything. My root vegetables, when I can them, I generally do peel. Okay, see the comparison? Yeah, that's when I was saying before, they're mainly orange on the inside. All right, time to fill my jars. I'm going to be leaving a 1-inch headspace. And right now, I've got water in my canner, and I do have the heat underneath, but I've got it on low because my carrots are room temp and my jars are room temp, and I don't want to do a temperature shock by putting them into screaming boiling water. Years and years and years ago, we'll say a few decades ago, yeah, more than a few decades, when you came up to the shoulder here before you got to the band, the ribs of the jar and stuff here, the shoulder was considered 1 inch up. It's not that anymore. It's about 3/4 of an inch. I had a viewer correct me on that, and it was like, wow. So here all this time I've been packing my jars incorrectly. So we do want to get them in there fairly tight because I'm raw packing. So right now I've got my Tatler lids in a pot of water scalding, getting those ready. And I also have a Dutch oven full of water that I'm bringing close to a boil because I'm going to be pouring that hot water over our carrots. So let me finish getting these filled up. My canner will hold 24 of the wide mouth pint jars, and that's what I'm doing as pints. And I thought I was going to be able to get all of the black nebulas in here, and actually a couple of jars of the purple cosmos. And it's just, that didn't work. I've still got extra black nebula, so I'm going to be running a second batch once this first batch is all done. But what I'm going to do next is a little bit different. When I've been canning carrots in the past, a couple of times I added just a small amount of salt. Most of the time, the recommended amount of salt would be like a half a teaspoon for a pint and a teaspoon for a quart. I do that with my green beans and they turn out very good. But I had done that a couple of times with my carrots, and you know what? No, that is one thing I will not do anymore. Now the salt has nothing to do with the preserving of it. It has to do with the flavor, and that's it. And a lot of times I do salt my vegetables when I'm eating them. By just adding water and no salt to it, it gives the vegetable, that carrot, a little bit more of a versatility that I can use it in different things, including like carrot pie, or if I'm going to put it into carrot muffins, carrot cake, that type of thing. And I don't have that extra saltiness in there. So I'm not adding salt to this, but I am doing something a little bit different. I am going to jazz these up a bit by adding honey as a sweetener. And one step further, I'm going to put cinnamon in it. So if you decide you want to do this and sweeten up your carrots a little bit, you know, with the spice in it, for 4 of the pint-sized jars, you would need a 1/4 cup of the honey. And then to that, you're going to need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. That's it. Mix it all up. And what I'm going to be doing is putting 1 tablespoon into each pint jar. All right. Now, being I've got so many to do, I went and I pulled out a pint of my honey. You're going to end up killing all the good properties in the honey because of the processing. The heat's going to come up too high and it's just, you're going to pasteurize it. So you don't need to go and use raw honey for this. Unfortunately, well, maybe it's not unfortunately, but that's all I have in our home is raw honey. So I'm kind of destroying one of my pints. Another thing about that, a pint would be to the very top. And being I had vacuum sealed this and everything, I had left a headspace in there. So I'm not going to put 6 teaspoons of cinnamon in here, being it's not a full pint. I don't want to go too nuts on the cinnamon. All right, but I am going to put 5 teaspoons in, and then I'll mix it up. But I'm going to do like, let's see, I have to keep count here. I want to mix that in there a little bit before I start adding the rest in. Now, I did warm up my honey a little bit beforehand because a lot of my honeys, they're more on the solid side. All right, I think I need to get a little baby whisk for that. Because it just doesn't want to mix in there. Have you ever noticed that cinnamon just likes to float on top of everything? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is what I'm going to be putting in there, and then I will be pouring the water on top of it. 3rd one, 4th, and the 5th one. Now I'm going to have to watch it because of adding the cinnamon in here. I am raising up the level, you know, putting more ingredients into the jar and it's getting to the top. So hopefully I don't make a big mess. Maybe I should have, you know, hindsight, put this in a bowl and mixed it up. yeah, I've got cinnamon all over. So I've done carrots before in a glaze, in a sweet glaze. I've taken like butter and brown sugar and a little bit of cinnamon and mixed that all up, and then have baked the carrots, and they really turn out good. Oh yeah, splash of orange juice. Gotta have that orange juice in there too. So I decided, you know, later on it was like, well, why can't I can my carrots with some of this sweetness in there? But I don't want it overpowering. So this is just going to add a slight bit of sweetness, and to help pull a little bit of sweetness out of the carrots themselves. So now I am going to start placing 1 tablespoon into each jar. I decided I better put my glasses on so I can see what I'm pouring. All right, now I'm going to top these off with my hot water. And hopefully I've got enough in here to do all of them. Otherwise, I'm going to have to hurry up and warm up some more water. All right, we're going to make sure that we're debubbling. And then I will add any more water to the jars if necessary. Now you can see how dark of a liquid the hot water is making. You know, the carrots are leaching their color out already. I mean, they're actually really pretty. So to me, it's kind of like a specialty carrot. Okay, I've gone and debubbled everything. I am going to have to top it off with more water, but I need to get my carrots down, kind of like packed in there again. So I'm using my vegetable tamper to gently smush them down. Yeah, smush is a word. To get them where they're supposed to be, because some of them, when I was debubbling, were, you know, flopping around in there. So, and the reason I'm using my wooden vegetable tamper is because I just don't like to use metal inside there and end up scratching or accidentally chipping the glass. All right, I wiped all the rims down. I did have to make sure that I went over them really well, because I did see there was a little bit of cinnamon and actually some honey drizzled down the side, even though I was trying to be careful. If you've never used Tattlers or any type of reusable canning lid, I will leave a link to a video I did on how to use them if you're interested. All right, I'm going to get the bands on here. Just remember, fingertip tight. Everybody's fingertip is different. If you're new to the Tattler lids or reusable lids, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. You'll know when you have your lid, you'll know when you have your band on too tight or not, for the most part. So I am going to be processing these at 10 pounds for our elevation. And for the pints, I'm going to process them for 25 minutes. Just remember that we need to vent for 10 minutes to begin with. I don't like that one. We're going to vent for 10 minutes to begin with. And then once we come up to pressure, like I said, 25 minutes for pints. And if you're doing quarts, it would be 30 minutes. I'm going to bring my temperature up really slowly now. The reason why is because I don't want to run the risk of any siphoning by turning the temperature up too fast. Being that we've got room temp jars and carrots and everything, I did put hot water into the jars, but because everything was room temp, that cooled down pretty quick. I mean, the jars were warm when I set them into the canner, but I don't want to turn that temp up, you know, to a screaming heat. And yeah, the poor jars aren't going to know what to do then. So I'm bringing it up slowly. Once I start seeing steam come out of the vent pipe, Then I will turn it up onto a higher temp so I can get that steam built up in there so it starts escaping and I can do that actual 10-minute vent. Well, it got pretty late last night, so I wasn't about to do the second batch of carrots. I decided I would wait until today. I did get all of the jars washed up for the black nebulas, and yeah, if you've never seen these before, you kind of think, yeah, that definitely looks black. For those of you that dye yarn or fabric or anything, this would really make a great dye. It does stain. And if you didn't see the post that I put on the community page, I was trying to cook some of these last night for supper, and I happened to use the microwave, being all the burners were taken up on the stovetop. And when I went to check on them, they had boiled over, and I had this big mess. So anyway, yeah, this does stain a lot. Now, as I mentioned before, I don't know that I'm going to try growing these again next year. This was something fun that I tried for this year, and I'm glad I gave it a shot. It's interesting. The shape was different. It was like I didn't get a uniform size carrot or anything through the whole batch, but yet at the same time, like I said, they were fun. So I've got the rest of the Purple Cosmos ready to go in. All I have to do is add my water, and like I said, I'm not going to add any salt. I'm not adding sweetener, anything like that to these. It's just going to be straight water in these, and I'm going to get them into the canner so I can get those going. So that's all there is to canning up carrots, and I realized that me putting them in chunks isn't the prettiest. Most people put them in uniform slices. Well, being that so many of the carrots were huge, I just decided, you know what, and I'm not gifting these away. I'm just eating them at home. So I didn't really mind what they were going to look like. Another thing, as a reminder and stuff, I'm going to look forward to using these like in muffins or maybe in that carrot cake or something. So there's a lot of different ways I'm going to be able to use these besides just eating them as a side dish. If I'm going to make a fresh batch of soup or something to eat and not can, I can dump these in because they're cooked already, and then that way, you know, my soup's going to be done a lot faster. So I want to thank you for joining me on canning the carrots and everything. And if you did enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up and share. And if you have any comments, leave them below. So until next time, you have a wonderful day. God bless.